Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Welcome to my Gears of War 4 Insane Difficulty Guide. This is Act 4, Chapter 3, Knock Knock. This is an interesting level. I actually really enjoy this mission, and I enjoy the, I guess we'll call it boss fight, new fight coming up here. But first, interestingly enough, there's some interesting weapons here. We see during the first two acts, I should say, of this game, we fought a lot of DBs, a lot of coalition robots, and ever since Act 3, all of that stuff has kind of went away. And you can see, if you want to trade weapons with these guys, you have to go all the way back to here. Otherwise, they'll like push up. It's really, really annoying. But anyway, we have not used these weapons for a while. And it's really nice to see them kind of bring this back. And I wish they brought, not only that, I wish they brought the DBs back. I wish they brought the DBs and those enemy types back a little bit, just to kind of have some fun and just kind of see how they interact. They do a little bit in Act 5, but I wish we kind of blended these two games, because a lot of people love the DBs, a lot of people like the Swarm, so I want to see both. But for this area, get out your grenades, take out that emergent soul and then that emergent soul as quickly as you can. If you do it successfully, that's all you will ever have to worry about. So that is all well and good. I picked up an Enforcer because I was out of ammo with my torque bow, and I was like, I'd rather have something rather than nothing. So I'm going to use this and take out this the Scion, which is really cool. And as we've learned now, because of us getting Marcus back, these Scions are actually original locusts, just kind of evolved a little bit, which is really awesome in my opinion. I think it's really cool. These are, for all intents and purposes, locusts, which is pretty nice. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that was the first engagement. Not too difficult. If you get it wrong, if you die, you have to switch out weapons with everybody again, which is really annoying. So do that at your own risk. I haven't found when I give my teammates special weapons, I haven't found that it's super useful like it was in Gears of War 3 or maybe like in Halo or something like that. For the most part, they don't really take care of the enemies all that much. I mean, they do. They are really effective, but they're more of a distraction than anything. So this section can be really tricky. I didn't have that big of a difficulty with it. I didn't have that big of an issue with it until this playthrough, until I started recording, until I started thinking of a strategy for it. That's when I had the issue, because I like to take cover here, and like 99% of the time, I never had an issue. I had this guy, and of course anyone who's up in your face is an issue, but for the most part, they kind of hung back. They kind of hung back, and they stayed there, and that was that. But as you'll see, there are some really, really good grenadiers here. We've got some Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady grenadiers here, because they throw grenades so perfectly, and I died a lot. I died a lot because of these grenades. I don't know what it was. I bet you it was just RNG. And of course, we have those guys that still rush you, those Russian Swarm, man. I tell you, just keep an eye out for them. Hopefully they get distracted by your teammates. Your teammates are pushed up more than you are. But anyway, I like to sit here because if you'll notice, when I'm crouched down like this, I kind of cut off the lines of sight from me and the Swarm in the back middle, I'll say, of this arena, in the back middle of this area. And it really gives me a good advantage of those guys right there. Those guys on the stairs, I can take out very effectively from this crouched position right here. And what you want to do is kind of just play whack-a-mole here. This is typical standard Gears of War whack-a-mole, and be very, very wary of grenades. If you see a grenade, what I like to do and what worked for me is diving back to where I came from, because the door behind me is still open. I can still do a roll back into that doorway and take cover there. And that is still a good place to take cover. So there's always that. But this is kind of an intense part. You get a lot of enemies in a really small area, and so the game of Gears of War, the whack-a-mole of Gears of War, is kind of cranked up to 11, because you're stuck here waiting for these guys to pop up. But once they pop up, you know, 2 or 3 of them are going to pop up and they're going to get shots on you. So it's really, really nervous. See, I see that guy with a grenade. I'm like, nope, I'm going to nope out of that situation. Exactly. Look at that. Just hide in that little corner and you should be good. Unfortunately, I think your teammates kind of push up or fall back, I should say, when you fall back into there, which is really quite annoying, but it is what it is. And as you'll see, I've dealt with most of the guys. I can't shoot those guys, but luckily they can't shoot me. So I'm going to focus my attention on, look at that nade, bro. Look at that. Look how perfect that was. I mean, that was right in the pocket, really good. Could have caught that for a touchdown. Sorry, it's football season, just started, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, and luckily if they get close to your teammates do a pretty decent job of defending themselves when the swarm comes right in their face. So all I do here is just pick off the guys on this wall here. If I need to, I'll stand up and take out the other guys, but I think that's it. So along with that huge swarm, you are going to get a sniper. So that's why I'm not like out in the middle of this picking up ammo yet, because there is still a sniper held up in this little area right here. So I'm going to slowly move from cover to cover, and I'm going to try to get to this area here, because this is the best place to deal with him. And if you die here, you have to do that whole thing over again. So be careful, play it cautious, make sure you're not taking any chances. Take care of that guy before he takes care of you. And I think that put him into down but not out, and I think we're safe now. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're safe, but I don't want to take that chance. So we're just gonna sit here, we're gonna wait. All right, I think we're good. I think we are good. Now we get to talk about the upcoming boss fight, because it is interesting. It's really interesting. I really, really love the design, and I really, really love the mechanics of this next creature, of this next enemy type, because it's really smart, and it oozes strategy, because all of the attacks he does are avoidable, and all the attacks he does is predictable. And I really like that about this. But where I believe they went wrong is the playable space that they give us. And it's not just in this section either. It's in the up and coming sections with this new creature as well. I think they give us too small and too narrow of an arena to really play it intelligently and to play it entertainingly, you know, to have some fun with this boss. Because this boss is supposed to be fun. Games are supposed to be fun, but I feel with this, it's a little too punishing. It's a little too, I'm not even going to say demanding, because it's really, really, I don't know a good adjective for it. It's finicky, it's tricky, it's kind of not fair in a sense. I don't want to say it's not fair, because it is fair, but it's really limiting. And the enemy we are going to be facing is called the, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. Carrier, that's what it is. It's the carriers, and the carriers are really, like I said, it's a fun boss. And I've heard and not seen yet that you can take care of these carriers with grenades, with kind of sticking them with grenades. Now, I've seen it. I think I might have seen it on a YouTube video once or twice, but I've seen it in the comment sections quite a bit of some YouTube videos. That all you need is to stick this guy with grenades. I tried that strategy and I got demolished. I'm not sure if I just wasn't doing it properly, but I wanted to mention it here on this guide for you guys, just so that you guys could know that maybe if you're having trouble, if you try sticking him with grenades, I've heard it takes 3, maybe 4 grenades, depending on how much damage you do to him otherwise. That's a strategy that you can use. So if you feel more comfortable sticking grenades on him, that's a great strategy you can use. But as for me, what I like to do is I like to come back here. He's going to shoot right away. I like to try to get my active reloads on as quickly as I can. And if you'll see that attack right there, when he kind of does that, that's when he's going to shoot his guys. And if you get that boom shot in there, you can get him stunned, which is where I believe you can stick him with a grenade or 2, and that's what people are talking about. But I like to just shoot him when he's up like that, when he's perched back like that. That's when he's going to shoot these projectiles up in the air, and it's incredibly fun and it's incredibly good because they're like nemesis. You know, he's not going to attack you, but these nemesis are, and you are just going to want to unload on his chest when he does that. His chest is vulnerable. That's his obvious video game weak spot, and whenever he does his attack, I've learned that when you're in one of those corners and he does that attack, if you sprint by him, if you sprint past him fast enough, you should be able to get away with getting around him like that. And so that's the basic strategy, and that's the fun part, that's the good part. And he also does this other attack where it's hard to tell. But there I am kind of sprinting by him here. I'm kind of taking cover up here because you do have to train him around. You know, you don't want to be close to this guy. Ooh, that's a good example. If you see that attack, his chest will open up and you'll see almost what I'll call like missile slots. That's when he's going to shoot a projectile at you, and you need to dodge that. You need to dodge that really, really quickly, because that's a one-hit kill if you get hit by it for sure. But yes, the reason I don't like this fight is what you're seeing now is that he's too big, and his melee range is so big that it's difficult to train around him. I don't feel like I am worried about attacking him. Like, there you go, that's a great example. Just take cover when you see those little, it's difficult to describe, those little missile slots in his chest. Just dive out of the way, make sure he doesn't hit you with that. There, take the opportunity you can, shoot him, but I feel like I'm more worried about avoiding his melee attack than I am about actually attacking him, because I don't want to get close to him. I want to get as far away from him as I possibly can, and I want to dodge him, because you can't take cover and you have to run away. You have to run away, and you have to get as much distance as you can away from him. Just because if he's close to you, you're dead. And I feel like I'm more worried about getting away from him than I am. Oh, there's a good picture of it. That's the missile attack right there. Yeah, so if this arena was a little bit wider, if it was a little bit more circular, that would be a cool little boss fight. That would be a cool little arena for us to fight in. But for this instance, for this case, it's just a little too narrow. It's just a little too limiting for me in terms of movement, in terms of being able to kind of entertainingly, for fun, being able to have a good encounter with this guy. And you'll see right there, that was really risky, because he will do his ground pound, and that is really close to death. But I think I get him right here. Yeah, so it looks a lot easier than it actually is. I died probably 6 to 10 times on this boss fight, just because he's so nuanced, he's so difficult, but keep training him around, keep backing up, keep avoiding him, keep getting past him, keep training him around, and you should be able to do that. Dodge his attacks are very well telegraphed, and so you're not going to have that issue there. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully that helped you out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next absolutely beautiful Gears morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, stay beautiful.